Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, what I like to do is to create videos that I would have found helpful when I first got out looking for treasure. Things like this silver, which is kind of in the way. I really need to do something with all of this. But today what we're going to do is we're going to open up this little eBay package here. And then I think we'll maybe look at a little plunder, depending on what's in the eBay package. I think this is a small one. Paid like $20-something for it. And it should have some cool stuff in it, but you never know. And if not, we'll have a look at this stuff, which is things that were... I call it plunder, but it's basically just when I'm out at thrift shops and garage sales. Well, garage sales in the summer. Sadly, it's winter. And I haven't really been able to make too many videos lately because it's probably still coming through my voice a little bit, but we have been sick. We have had a pretty nasty cold in my household, and as a consequence, yeah, I made this video when silver got up so crazy high. It was like $120 or something stupid. For a bit there. People kept asking me, how much silver do you have? Well, the answer is about 60 pounds, which is what is all over the place. Now, this video, is on a little eBay lot that I grabbed. I don't think I paid too much for this. It was really in that like $20 range, but I just liked it. I just thought it was really cool. Just had some neat stuff in it. Not a lot of neat stuff, but things I wanted to look closer at. Like whatever's going on here. I couldn't tell. I could tell in the picture this is just a little brass. It's brass, but I thought it had, oh, it does say something. CRC maybe? I don't know. Isn't that a hammer and a hatchet? Isn't that for like roofing? I wonder if that little a little logo there, CRC, means something. These are always fun to look up whenever you have the chance. But it looks like it was a little, I don't know, charm or maybe a pendant. But it's just brass. And generally when I buy these things, I usually want to try for something a little bit better than brass. This looks like silver. Looks maybe like it's been cleaned, though. Well, the back isn't silver. You can see, you know what, I'm not sure where my pointer is, so we're just going to use this silver pen here. But you can see all of this, where the brass underneath is coming up from the silver plating. Now, that means that this back piece is plated. It doesn't necessarily mean that the rest of it is plated. But I don't know. Is it? Does it unscrew? I don't think so. I think this just slides in and acts as like a stud. MWA. I thought this was like Woodsman of the World, but it isn't. It's MWA. Have to look that one up. What do we have here? MWA. Same thing. So we have a hammer and an axe. I'm guessing this stands for Woodsman. Maybe America? I don't know. Now, this is the first one that starts to look like it might be gold. Could just be gold fill. But the thing here is we have hand engraving. You can see this whole pattern was made by hand by an engraver. And the question is, if it's gold fill, did they get down through the gold? So you can look into the cracks and see, is it the same material all the way down to the bottom? And it looks like it is. Now, it's dirty. Let's have a look at the back, see what we got. What's that say? Something. I Can't make out what it is. These pieces will pretty much always just be plated, but the rest of it may be gold. And it's looking like it probably is maybe a low carat, maybe pinchbeck. It's interesting. Almost looks like it has like a lacquer on the surface. Now, the thing is, it's very thin. And because it is very thin, and because we do have that deep engraving not exposing something else, whatever it is, it's one material. So we'll go ahead and test this. It might be something like 9 carat, but we'll see what 10 carat test acid does to it. It is a good example, though, if you can see where, like, I'm suspicious of this material being gold. I think it probably is, compared to what is very clearly brass. And it's a nice little comparison. Now, this was the thing that I was most keen to look at closely. Now, here we have actually we have something really, really good to look at. Now, these objects have obviously been kept in the same conditions because they came together. And you can see we also have hand engraving here. See how shiny this has maintained itself? Whereas this is very clearly brass. That color you're only really going to get with brass. But with this, I think we probably have a little bit of gold here. Looks like this is on mother of pearl. Nice thick slab of mother of pearl. That's pretty cool. And then, what do we have here? This little box. And keep in mind with this old stuff, sometimes you'll end up with like gold attached to brass. It happened, especially with a lot of this sort of fraternal type stuff. What's going on there? So it looks like there was probably some sort of something on this piece. And I think what we have here is we have fill. Gold fill probably, because that inside, as you can see, has that very brass look, whereas the outside does look like gold until you look close at the edges. And you can see, especially like right here, right there, where the gold fill has worn through. So I had hoped that might end up being a little bit of gold, but you know, this wasn't one that I paid a lot of money for, so I was pleased to get it. I thought this was cool, and then I feel like maybe I should know what MWA is, but you know what? We'll find out after we finish making up this movie. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I think we'll go ahead and we'll acid test that. We'll see what we got. I think we probably have a bit of gold here, but it's hard to say, and it's not much, really. We do have time. Why don't we look at a little bit of Plunder? So these are some fun things. Oh, that's just a necklace, 14 karat gold necklace. It was priced, this was one that had gone out to the floor, and I just thought it was a nice 14 karat necklace, and they were selling it, they were pricing things at 80% spot, so I thought, why not grab a good necklace, which is probably something that will end up going maybe to my daughter someday, just because of the quality of it. Why not end up picking that up? This one I thought was really fun. Now it's broken, and we put it out very overpriced. We put it out for $10. It's not worth $10, but I thought it was a very good example of a number of things that I wanted to use in a video. One of them was, you can see here where it had something hanging in the center. The pin going out past the side dates it to probably pre-1900, is typically where that style fell out of fashion, turn of the 20th century. And then the C catch here also dates it probably to further back, you know, mid 1800s probably. But the reason that I love this so much was, look at that color. Isn't that an interesting color? It's so bronzy. but then it has this sort of black tarnish. And the reason that I overpaid for this and I wanted it was because of that color and the marking. So right here, 13 1/3. And you might be wondering, what does 13 1/3 mean? Well, first thing you should think about is that that's a pretty nice stamp. So if you're looking at a piece like this and you're thinking, hey, that's silver, and you see a nice stamp like that, you are going to be slightly more inclined to think, yeah, it definitely is silver. And it is. That is a 13 1/3 lote or loth. It's like a Germanic marking. And I forget what it is. It's like 80 something % silver. High 80s, if I remember correctly. But I thought this was a very good example of just sort of what can happen to silver when it's been around for a very long time with an unusual marking. And it's not like this would just get scrapped, probably, honestly, the way things are going right now. So I wanted to rescue it and use it as an example of not only a cool marking that you might find, but also how old silver can look given enough time. This, I think, is, and you know what, we'll gold test this, but I believe this is also Victorian. And I think it's probably just like gold fill or rolled gold, although it's hard to tell. It might be. Here's the thing. When you got a piece like this, rolled gold, gold fill, is really kind of it's moot, because the way it is it's just a thin layer of gold anyways. So you could call it rolled gold because, well, basically it is, except that it's effectively like a sheet of gold that's used to keep the jet, I think this is jet, in place. Now, does that mean there's much gold here? No, very much not. And it's probably like 9-karat gold. But I think this is an example of where you might get like a little drib or drab of gold here and there. It might be plate. It's hard to tell because it is so old and it is so dirty. What do we think there? That looks like this is gold fill. And you know what? I need my needle for these real close-ups. Yeah, this piece is going to be gold fill. You see right, let's see, right here. You can see where we have the brass versus the gold. But it's cool. That's a cool, like, old Victorian pendant. I don't even remember where I got this one. I think it was stuck to something else, or... Oh, it might have been on a cheap necklace, and I just didn't want the necklace, so I took this off. Speaking of necklaces, last but not least, this little guy. This was $1. And I just thought it was great. I don't think this crucifix is silver, but I thought, look at that. That is a Paratrooper's crucifix, and it's the old, kind of the old style parachute too. So I kind of wonder how old this thing actually is. Didn't really see any markings on it, but I had never seen a Paratrooper crucifix before, and more importantly than that, I knew this was a good buy just because this is a silver necklace. And I think we have, that's kind of an old guy, which is cool. But I think we've got our marks on here somewhere. I feel like I found them. Yeah, right there. There we go. There we have our, should be our silver marks. But it's like 835, I think it is. I don't think it's a sterling necklace. I think it's 835 silver, which is cool. And you know, my expectation is that this might be like post World War II or World War II, and that's like a German necklace, or certainly European of some type. So I think you've got a good argument for saying that this is probably something that somebody picked up after World War II or during World War II, actually in theater, or possibly they got the necklace and they found that later and put it on. But in any case, I just thought that was pretty dang cool for $1. All right, with that, why don't we go ahead and go test this real quick? I think I'm just gonna go test it and tell you what. Well, all right, I'll set up the camera. Okay, let's go ahead and give this a little scratch. We'll do it on the back where we're not really gonna damage it, anything. We'll go right here. I like to scratch one spot a bit in case there is some sort of sealant on there or it is plate. Then the second scratch should have gone through that plate and be getting down to any sort of base material. In this case, I'm not so concerned with that because it is so thin, but just a little trick if you think you've got something that's actually plate. Okay, let's try our 10 karat test acid here. This is the one that should matter, so we'll start with that one. You can see this one was brass since we were actually getting the little screw back. You can see what the 10 karat acid does to brass since we're here. And we'll just hit that one for good measure. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and let this percolate. I'm gonna pause the video for a moment. Well, I went away, I weighed it, and I double checked. Paid $21.50 for this eBay auction. Stay to the end of the video if you wanna see the pictures from the eBay auction. This weighed in at 1.01 grams. Now, probably half of that weight is the stud, maybe a quarter of it, a third of it, I don't know. In any case, we seem to be doing good for 10 karat though. So I would say we have, you know, a good half gram of 10 karat on this one little pin, which worth 20 bucks. Certainly, I'm pleased with that. And more importantly, now, if you can tell me in the comments, because honestly, with the way my life's going right now, I probably haven't had a chance to look it up. But once I know what MWA is, I probably remember it. So this gives me a chance at some future time to go do a little bit of research on MWA. And most importantly, I think we were able to put together a pretty good little video just to sort of show this is eBay treasure hunting. This is kind of how it works, and it's fun. I enjoy it. I hope you out there found this video valuable, and most importantly, I hope that you can use some information that you learned in the video to go out and find yourself some treasure.
Like this, I've been Thomas.